Welcome back to the DDO Tour Guide. Today, we'll be diving into the Level 4 quest, Rest for the Restless, in House Fjarlin. No rare spawns this time, but we've got 5 collectibles and some traps and tricks to get to the end. Remember your ranged attacks, and use the buddy system so you don't get stuck. Rest for the Restless is one of the quests that you are given in a tavern, which is not exactly close to the quest entrance. So we are here in House Fjarlin, by the tavern right next to the airship access, so far southwest corner. And I'm gonna go in and talk to our quest giver. Lady Nepenthe. I am in mourning. I do not wish for company. May I ask the reason for your sorrow? I mourn the loss of my only son. We had not spoken since I left Arenal for Stormreach, leaving behind a life best forgotten. Then he sent word that he too wished to sever ties with our old associates and join me in my solitude. I was overjoyed. And did he join you in Stormreach? Not trusting the fickle seas, my son took passage on a House Leander airship. At the hour of his arrival, a storm blew out of nowhere, sudden and fierce. This was no natural storm. It chased the airship like a hunting hound. It seemed a column of night was struggling towards Stormreach from across the sea. What happened? The airship reached land, but could not halt its wild progress. It smashed into the hills beyond Stormreach. All aboard were lost. And even this I could accept, if my son's enemies had been satisfied with his death. But they were not. What more vengeance could they take? His body was not found, and a week after the disaster I received a letter bearing a seal I knew too well. My son, it said, had returned to the service of those he sought to escape. They raised his bones. They set him to guard their trinkets in the Stormreach sewers. Oh, his spirit is long departed, but the defilement of his corpse I cannot bear. I would avenge this blasphemy if I could. If you would do this, seek my child below Stormreach. Dispatch him from this cold world. He will not easily be told from the other walking bones, save by his stature. But you will do no evil by sending the others to their rest, especially those who wield magic, for they remember enough to hate their servitude. I cannot pay you in gold, but I will not forget your bravery. Try to accomplish this, Lady Nepenthe. So we actually get a decent story on that one, and we'll now head over to the dungeon. So as you can see, it's blinking on the map. They're in north central House Fjarlin. We'll wind our way through the buildings and find the Vault of the Restless. You'll enter on Elite. Here we are. Now, unlike some other dungeons, this one, we want to bring a friend. We'll get a full explanation on that in a minute, but for now, our friend will chill at the beginning of the instance. Of course, as you can see from our optional, there are skeleton mages to be had, so we do want to protect ourselves from magic missiles, and of course, any other defensive or offensive buffs that you want to use. Now, step 1, of course, is we need to pull this valve so that we can go forward. So we're going to take care of that. And then we're going to kill some skeletons as we progress. Let's go around here. Oh look, a chest. A free chest, with nothing suspicious about it. Just free loot. Oh no, skeletons. And zombies. But yes, that will just spawn guys. You can safely just grab the chest and then kill the guys. No problem. Our first mushroom collectible. And then at the end of this hallway is our first arcane skeleton. Note that it does cast lightning bolt, So moving back and forth a little bit if you are worried about taking the damage from that can help. Then we come here to this door. As you can see, there are 2 gates in the way, one for each rune. So we're going to go to the H rune. And the H rune means that we need to pull the ones on either side of the H. Then we're going to go to the K rune. The backwards K means we went out swinging. So we're going to go to the left and then forward. So now that we've cleared those, we can head onward. I'm going to grab another collectible mushroom. And we're going to kill these guys before we call our friend to help us out. So the reason that you need a friend here is that when you pull this lever, or this valve rather, we're going to get locked in. Yes, we get locked in with some ghasts, but unlike many other quests, the doors don't open when we kill them. So this valve opens the way forward, but we also can't go forward because we're trapped. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this back up, and instead, we will assign this task to our friend. I am using a hireling, but there are many ways to do this. If you have a pet, like a druid dog or an artificer dog, you can have them pull it. If you over-level, you can pull it yourself and then dimension door out. But we have chosen to use a hireling. And of course, the last option is run in a group and have an actual human do it for you. Don't worry, you'll let them out again real soon. They don't need to wait there long. So this is the first shrine location. And we'll grab our Snow Peaks treasure, of course. And this valve is actually the one that will let them out. So they don't need to wait very long. Now, in order to go forward through that gate, we need to kill all of these skeletons. Not just some of them, not just the ones on the ground, all of them. Which means you need some way to kill guys who are on ledges. Even if you're melee, just grab a ranged weapon, whether it's throwing daggers or bow and arrows, and you can eventually work them down. Now, again, we just saw a shrine, but there's a second shrine here. They're very generous with shrines. Oh, I almost forgot. Collectible mushroom, number 3 collectible for those keeping count. We have more arcane skeletons, more strafing to avoid getting lightning bolted. And here, there's a trap. Now, there's a couple ways to get past this trap. 1, run straight forward. If you're fast, sometimes you don't get hit at all. Another way, of course, is that you can time it. Because they're on different cycles, if you wait for it. Or you can just get impatient. You can, of course, just run through it and heal. You can time it. Or, control box is right here, and you can disarm it. You'll note that the map says that there's a passage to the left here. That is actually above us. It is not on this level. This is our 4th collectible. It's bookshelf this time, not a mushroom. Note that we have 4 skeleton mages left, which means we need to kill 2 before the end fight, because the end fight has 2 mages. Fortunately, we've aggroed them to this side. Sometimes you'll need to explore this other fork. As you can see on the map, it's just a loop, so sometimes the other one will be like down there. But we got lucky, so instead we'll just come here. Oh, and managed to accidentally kill the boss. That's okay, we'll finish off this skeleton. And there we go. We got our optional done as well. Now, we're not quite done yet, because in this passage that is above the previous passage, we have a quick exit to the marketplace, but we also have our last collectible. So it's 4 mushrooms and a bookcase, and that does it for the dungeon. So now we're going to head back and tell her that we have successfully put her son to rest. So we're going to head all the way back to the bar, which, as we mentioned before, is down here, far bottom left, or southwest. You need not tell me of your success. I know that my son's remains are no longer defiled by the blood of Vol. By freeing him, you opposed a greater evil than you knew. I might have warned you that Vol was involved, but you survived, and a fraction of my guilt is cleansed. Perhaps someday your blind courage will be rewarded. Until then, may you escape the wrath of my former brethren. Goodbye, Lady Nepen. We'll take our plague necklace. Yes, plagued. And that was Rest for the Reckless.